Doctor Who has produced some of the most beautiful, emotional and magical pieces of music ever seen on television, some of the most iconic pieces coming from the Doctor's very own theme. It's clear music is an important part of the show, with the wondrous beauty that comes with exploring new worlds and battling extravagant aliens, and yet in very much my own opinion, the last two series have really faltered in a specific aspect of creating the right atmosphere for the Doctor.
I'm Segan Akinola, recording the first episode of Series 12 of Doctor Who. From Series 11 to Series 12, in a lot of ways the music has stayed the same because it's coming from the same place.
It isn't a bad idea to quote Alfred Hitchcock, who said, I don't think exactly word for word, but in film, music represents the words that cannot be spoken. Want to touch people in a certain way, an aggressive way, or a gentle way, a soothing way, a healing way. All of these things will be in your mind. If it's to be healing, what does that?
Music, you're basically having a conversation.
Can tell you everything that you need to know in one word. Story.
Tell me something. What do you immediately think of when I say, what's the Doctor's theme music? Well, at first you're probably thinking, but no, that's the show's theme. What's the Doctor's theme? Two pieces normally come to the mind of New Who fans, Matt Smith's and David Tennant's. Very few people I've spoken to have been able to hum or give me their own rendition of our current Doctor's music, Jodie Whittaker, and that's the issue at play here, and another reason why I think the 13th Doctor has been so difficult to get on board with as a character and as the Doctor. Classical Broadway and Hollywood composer Aaron Copland stated there are 5 key ways in which music serves the screen. Number 1. Creating a more convincing atmosphere of time and place. Audiences have become accustomed to certain styles of music for different people, settings, religions, and races. The music sets the scene for when and where the current shot is. Number 2. It can underline psychological refinements. Music has the power to show thoughts that are not spoken, or even foreshadow imminent danger or a character's actions. Number 3. Serve as a neutral background filler. This is simply background music, the music you don't even realise is there, filling the gaps between conversations, weaving underneath dialogue, not over the top of it. Number 4. Build a sense of continuity. Its most obvious example is when used in a montage scene. Take Rocky for example, a bunch of disconnected scenes of him working out and running, connected only through the use of the music. Finally, number 5. Underpin the theatrical build-up of a scene and round it off with a sense of finality. This usually will take place at the end of a film or TV show, after a triumph, using the music to uplift the audience and express the achievement involved. All of these points are important in how we perceive the Doctor, and I'll explain why. Before I go ahead, I'm looking at each Doctor's main theme. In all of this series they've had loads of incredible story-inspired musical pieces, a favourite of many being, translated from Latin, Farewell 10.
I don't want to go.
From the rebirth in 2005 up to the end of Capaldi's run, Murray Gold acted as musical director for the show, gifting us a reworked intro, as well as many new and emotional Doctor Who themes. In today's video I want to go through them and show how this really affected the show for me. So, in 2005, Gold is asked to produce a musical piece to show the pain and sadness our new Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, has gone through. He comes up with this. It brings to light the mysticism of this alien, but also of his past. We haven't seen the Doctor in years, for him hundreds of years, because he's been part of a war, the Time War, a battle between two alpha races, the Daleks and the Time Lords. We don't know exactly what happened, all we know is that it has affected the Doctor, scarred him, even traumatized him. The Doctor's post-Time War PTSD is probably the single biggest defining event in the show's history, separating the old series from the new. It's an event that has changed his life and changed him as a Time Lord, and through the music, that story is told. Just like Copland's theory, the piece simply called The Doctor's Theme shows what he is thinking about. That pain and regret is shown without even listening to what he has to say. The following clip shows the music's connection to his past and the effect it has had, leaving that scar as he tells Rose that he's the last surviving Time Lord.
My planet's gone. It's dead. It burned like the Earth. It's just rocks and dust. Before its time.
What happened?
There was a war and we lost.
A war with who? What about your people?
I'm a Time Lord. I'm the last of the Time Lords. They're all gone. I'm the only survivor. I'm left travelling on my own because there's no one else.
Another example is when he absorbs the TARDIS energy from Rose. He's able to suddenly see all of time and space, probably even seeing the Time War played out once again in his head. This music is certainly more linked to his past troubles. After one season, Eccleston left, and David Tennant took his place. A new man, new personality, yes, but his past still very fresh and transparent through his personality. Hence the theme is very similar. It's a little deeper though. He's had time to dwell on his past mistakes in the Time War, had time to grieve and regret. The changes show his journey. It's more grand, perhaps almost hinting at this godlike, darker side of himself, the Time Lord victorious, but still enveloped in sadness, eventually moving on to this fighting, brave warrior style. From 2010 to 2013, Matt Smith took the reins with a new bumbling kid-like energy as well as a new showrunner in Stephen Moffat. With this came another new theme titled I Am the Doctor. In the 50th anniversary special, Smith's Doctor claims to have forgotten how many children were on Gallifrey before destroying it all. He says he moved on, and whilst I don't fully believe that, his music certainly shows his transition from the Doctor who resents to the one who regrets, and now to the one that forgets. His personality has changed. Gold, in an interview, stated David Tennant took over in Series 2. He announced himself in the Christmas Invasion, and he said, "I'm a fighting Doctor." So his music becomes all very swashbuckly. And then Matt came along, and he seemed really wobbly, funny, and a bit eccentric and sweet. His music has forgotten his troubles and embraced the weird alien-y hero side of himself, as he runs around the galaxy taking down aliens with a plan he came up with 5 seconds ago. Now, we move on to Capaldi. Peter Capaldi, in my opinion, was a great Doctor. It was just unfortunate he wasn't exactly blessed with many good stories to be a part of. His music, whilst I struggle to remember it off the top of my head, like I can with the previous regenerations, once I've heard it, instantly I can picture a scene whereby the Doctor has just thought of a way to escape and save the day. And he's just starting that speech, telling Clara, telling the Daleks, telling the Cybermen exactly what he's about to do. It's left the mysticism behind with 9 and 10, as he knows Gallifrey is safe, he just needs to find it. Instead, adopts a more grander, slower paced heroic style, like Matt Smith's, but as if he's grown up, he's not so childish in the same way Smith was. The quick way of explaining all this is quite simply each Doctor has had their own personal theme that can tell their story before we even meet them. Each theme is memorable, with 10s and 11s usually being considered the most iconic, as both their Doctors are these days. The music is its own personality. So when I originally thought about this and came to the 13th Doctor, I was surprised I had no recollection of her theme. Even after listening to it, I don't remember it at all. It's forgettable, kinda like this Doctor. Now, there are a number of reasons why I haven't been a massive fan of the last 2 seasons. I think the lack of importance of the companions and having too many is an issue. I think Jodie isn't too sure who her character is yet. I do have to add, however, in the moments in which she has snapped at her so-called fam, that's when I've liked her best. But people really underestimate the power music brings to the table. It makes you feel things, and in the case of Doctor Who, it needs to be memorable. As I said, Murray Gold left in 2017 at the end of Capaldi's run, meaning a new composer was brought in to do the last 2 seasons, Segan Akinola. I'm not directly criticising him, as he is clearly a very capable composer and has created some great pieces, including what is apparently the 13th Doctor's theme, but there needs to be something special about it. It needs to encapsulate who that Doctor is, which I admit is quite difficult at the moment. However, after what has just happened in Series 12, perhaps we'll open up an opportunity for something similar to 9 and 10's era. I hope I have explained this as best as I could, the importance being the Doctor's theme needs to represent who the Doctor is at the time, which I don't think it does. I don't think Jodie knows who she's trying to be, or even Chris Chibnall, most of the time. However, with a new massive event happening at the end of Series 12, there's something to base the Doctor's theme around, finally. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to receive the latest movie and TV news and trailers, as well as discuss your own opinions and get access to my reviews before I release them, don't forget to click that link in the description and join my Discord.